There was always music at Gatsby's house on summer nights. In his big garden, men and women moved like moths, drawn to soft voices, champagne, and starlight. In the afternoons, guests swam or sunbathed, and his motorboats pulled people over the water. On weekends, his Rolls-Royce drove people to and from the city all day, and his yellow car met every train. On Mondays, 8 servants cleaned the mess. Every Friday, boxes of oranges and lemons arrived. By Monday, their empty halves were thrown out. Gatsby had a machine that could juice 200 oranges in 30 minutes. Twice a month, caterers came with lights and food to turn the garden into a festival. Tables were full of appetizers, decorated meats, salads, and turkeys. Inside, a real bar served all kinds of drinks. By 7 p.m., a full orchestra arrived. Guests dressed upstairs while cars filled the driveway. The house was alive with music, color, and laughter. Waiters carried drinks through the crowd. Guests talked, laughed, and forgot names quickly. As lights brightened, music grew louder, and the party filled with movement and voices. Suddenly, a woman in a sparkling dress grabbed a drink and danced alone. The music changed to match her style, and people began whispering that she might be a famous dancer. The party had officially begun. I think I was one of the few who were truly invited. Most guests just came without asking. They arrived somehow and acted like it was a fairground. Some never even saw Gatsby, but I had a real invitation. On Saturday morning, a chauffeur in a blue uniform brought me a note from Gatsby. He said he would be honored if I came that night. I wore white flannel and went over a little after 7. I walked nervously among strangers, but recognized a few faces from the train. Many young Englishmen were talking seriously to rich Americans, trying to sell something, maybe insurance or cars. I tried to find Gatsby, but no one knew where he was. So I went to the cocktail table, the only place a man could stand alone without looking strange. I felt embarrassed and was about to get drunk when Jordan Baker came out. She stood on the stairs, looking down at the garden with a cool, curious face. I felt I had to stay close to someone, so I walked toward her. "Hello," I said too loudly. "I thought you might be here," she said without emotion. She shook my hand and turned to talk to 2 girls in yellow dresses. "Hello," they said. "Sorry you didn't win," referring to a golf tournament Jordan had lost. Jordan made a comment about someone dyeing their hair, but she was really speaking to the moon, which had appeared suddenly like the food. She held my arm as we walked through the garden. A tray of cocktails passed, and we sat at a table with the 2 girls in yellow and 3 men, all introduced as Mr. Mumble. Jordan asked if the girl came to many parties. "The last time I came, I met you," she said. Lucille added that she enjoyed the parties because she didn't worry about anything. Last time, she tore her dress, and Gatsby sent her a new one. It was gas blue with lavender beads and cost 265 baht. "He does that to avoid trouble," someone said. "Who?" I asked. "Gatsby," they whispered. "Now," someone said he killed a man. Others added stories. He was a German spy or in the American army. One girl swore he had killed someone and told us to watch him when he thought no one was looking. Everyone looked around for Gatsby, curious and uneasy. Dinner was served. Jordan took me to her group, 3 couples and a bold college student who hoped to impress her. They acted proud and formal, like East Egg people judging the wildness of West Egg. "Let's leave," Jordan whispered after a while. Too polite for me. She reminded me I hadn't met Gatsby yet, which made her feel awkward. We searched for him, starting at the bar, then upstairs, and finally behind a big door. Inside was a Gothic library. A drunk man with big glasses was staring at the books. "They're real," he said, "not fake. Pages and everything." He showed us one and said Gatsby was like a theater man who knew not to cut the pages. He said he came with Mrs. Claude Roosevelt and was trying to sober up. We left and returned outside. Dancing had begun. Older men danced with young women, couples stood at the edges, and girls danced alone. By midnight, the party got louder. Singers performed, people did tricks, and laughter filled the garden. The girls in yellow did a costume act, and champagne was served in large glasses. The moon was high, and the water sparkled. I was still with Jordan, sitting with a man my age and a girl who laughed at everything. I had drunk 2 glasses of champagne and felt thoughtful. The man beside me said I looked familiar. We learned we both served in France. He said he had just bought a hydroplane. Want to come along the shore tomorrow, old sport? He asked. What time? I replied. Any time that suits you best. It was on the tip of my tongue to ask his name when Jordan looked around and smiled. Having a gay time now? She inquired. Much better. I turned again to my new acquaintance. But this is an unusual party for me. I haven't even seen the host. I live over there. I waved my hand at the invisible hedge in the distance, and this man Gatsby sent over his chauffeur with an invitation. For a moment he looked at me as if he failed to understand. I'm Gatsby, he said suddenly. What? I exclaimed. Oh, I beg your pardon. I thought you knew, old sport. I'm afraid I'm not a very good host. He smiled at me in a way that felt deeper than simple understanding. It was one of those rare smiles that make you feel completely seen and accepted, something you might only experience a few times in life. For a moment his smile seemed to face the whole world, then it focused only on me, as if he already liked me. It made me feel believed in, understood just as much as I wanted, and exactly how I wanted to be seen at my best. Then the smile disappeared, and I was looking at a well-dressed man, a bit over 30, whose very proper way of speaking was almost too formal. Even before he said his name, I could tell he chose his words carefully. Right after he introduced himself as Mr. Gatsby, a butler quickly came and told him there was a call from Chicago. Gatsby gave a small polite bow to each of us and said, "If you want anything, just ask, old sport. I'll come back soon." As he walked away, I turned to Jordan, still surprised. I had imagined Mr. Gatsby to be older, heavier, and more showy, not the elegant young man I had just met. Who is he? I demanded. Do you know? He's just a man named Gatsby. Where is he from, I mean? And what does he do? Now you're started on the subject, she answered with a wan smile. But at her next remark it faded away. However, I don't believe it. Why not? I don't know, she insisted. I just don't think he went there. Jordan's voice made me think again of what the girl had said. I think he killed a man. It made me more curious. I could have believed Gatsby came from a poor place like Louisiana or New York. But from what I knew, young men didn't just appear from nowhere and buy a mansion on Long Island.